I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, somebody has already started the recording before starting the class. Okay. Okay, let me share my screen. Let me first open the. Okay, have you tried yesterday's setup process? Any one of you?
Yes, sir.
Done, sir. I have
Okay,
set up.
yeah. Are you able to set up that VS Code?
Yes, yes.
No, sir. I am
Okay.
getting one error while connecting org.
Okay, okay. We will see that in today's lecture itself. Okay. Mhm. Just give me a 1 minute. Okay. Okay. I hope you guys will able to see my screen now, right? Anyone can respond in the chat if the screen is visible or not.
Yes.
Yes, sir. It's
Yeah,
visible.
visible. Yeah. Okay. So where do you have faced the problem? Some of you might have successfully completed those steps, but some of you might not able to complete it. So what are the errors you have got while installing this? Anyone? What type of
Um,
error means at which step you are getting the error?
while connect means authorizing org.
Okay, authorizing org. Okay, let me open the VS Code. Okay. I hope you are able to create the project, right? This project setup.
Yes, yes.
Yes, everyone, right? Okay. So if you have completed this setup, now what we will do, we will try to connect with our org. Okay. First of all, you might not see any extensions here. Okay. It takes some time. Whenever you open this VS Code, at that time, the extensions might not load it. Okay. So it takes some time. If you see message like this activating extensions, then it means the extensions are getting loaded. Okay. Okay. Until the extensions are loaded, let me take a quick recap of yesterday's session. Okay. So first of all, I have explained that you can sign up for a developer edition org. I have provided the URL in the chat, right? And after that, yeah, I have explained about the my domain, right? You can give any URL and check whether it is available or not. Okay. So basically, it is unique address for your particular org. Okay. And a few points I have covered, right? Why we should use Lightning instead of Visual Force. Okay. Like these points: avoid server call, lazy loading to increase performance. This lazy loading we are going to see in the code. Okay. Faster development, we will not face any view state error in Lightning. Okay. Lightning app builder, I have given one example. All right. You go to account or any contact, from the setup setting you can go to edit page, and there the Lightning app builder will be open. Cross browser compatibility is there. Okay, means it is supported in all latest modern browsers. Okay, Lightning out is out of syllabus, but still means if you want to use your Lightning component on external websites other than Salesforce, so that time you can use Lightning out. Okay, so now the setup. So first step is to install the JDK. Why we are going to install the JDK? To work with VS Code, we will need the JDK. Okay, VS Code in background runs this package, JDK package. Okay, if you not installed it, your extensions will not going to work properly. Okay, and after that we have to install Salesforce CLI. What is Salesforce CLI? It is a custom package developed by Salesforce. Okay, command line interface developed by Salesforce. So you can deploy your code to the commands also. Okay, means by firing one command, you can deploy your code to your org. Okay, and retrieve, you can retrieve your code from org itself also. And this Salesforce CLI integrated with VS Code with the help of Salesforce extension pack. Okay, the Salesforce extension pack provides the UI to you. Okay, and from the options, whenever you click on that option, at the background, the Salesforce CLI commands were executed. Okay, so you don't need to means remember those commands by your own. Okay, so it helps a lot. Salesforce extension pack. Okay. Okay, you can see it is loaded. Let me try to reconnect with the org. Okay, just click over there. Okay, means if you want to reauthorize your org, just go to view command plate, type sfdx comma authorize an org. Okay, click on this authorize an org. Click on this and select this project default. Okay, if you are working with your office org, okay, your office org is not starting with this login.salesforce because this is a production URL. Okay, your office org will be start with this URL test.salesforce.com, or you can give your custom URL. Means they have provided you one URL for the org that you can use using this custom URL. Here you can copy paste that URL, or you can use this sandbox. Okay, generally we develop in real time on sandbox, and from sandbox we push the code to the production. You can see below production login.salesforce.com is there. So by default our developer edition or URL has the same URL as a production. Okay, but in real time you should work with this URL. So let me click project default. Let me change the name, DevOps, enter. You can see this command is getting executed. Okay, you must have miss whenever you click on authorize an org, it should open one new window. Okay, if the window is open, then you have to provide the credentials. Okay, if your credentials are correct, then it will successfully logged in here, means your authorization is successful. Okay, you can see, and if you go to output, you can see at the back end when I have clicked on this sfdx authorize and org, the command is executed sfdx force colon auth web. So these command are nothing but Salesforce CLI commands. Okay, you can see, so you don't have to manually enter those commands. Okay, it is automatically done by the extension packs. Okay, so now my org is successfully authorized. Okay, so where you are getting error, can you recall this again? मीन्स कहाँ पे एरर आ रहा था, मतलब जब org पे
सेम
क्लिक कर रहे हो तब एरर आ रहा है,
सेम
कब आ
स्टेप
रहा है?
ऑथराइजन और पे क्लिक कर रहे तभी एरर आ रहा है।
मतलब क्या एरर, एरर क्या है, मतलब एरर पड़ा है क्या, क्या एरर था वो?
हाँ, indeed error spam with user C Leno drive on the desktop Zulu JDK 11 dot
हाँ,
bin
यस,
in।
हाँ, सो व्हाट इज दैट एरर मीन्स कि ये जेडी के वर्जन है, मैंने कल बताया था, वेबसाइट पे जाके यहाँ पे लेटेस्ट वर्जन वाला जेडीके इंस्टॉल करना है। तो अभी क्या है कि वीएस कोड के लिए वर्क करने के लिए लेटेस्ट 11 पॉइंट प्लस वर्जन चाहिए जावा का। ठीक है, 11 प्लस। तो तुमने अगर ओल्ड वर्जन का जेडीके इंस्टॉल किया है तो वो वर्क नहीं करेगा। ठीक है, तो पहले क्या करना पड़ेगा, जो ओल्ड वर्जन का जेडीके इंस्टॉल्ड है उसको अनइंस्टॉल करो, उसके बाद जो लेटेस्ट वर्जन है जेडीके है उसको वापस से रीइंस्टॉल करो और फिर परफॉर्म करो, ये तो हो जाएगा। ठीक है, नहीं होता
जेडीके
है इन केस।
18
हाँ,
विंडोज है, मतलब 18 का ही डाउनलोड किया लेटेस्ट वाला।
ओके ओके ओके, ठीक है। तो इसको हम लोग क्लास के लास्ट के जो 5-10 मिनट्स बचेंगे उसमें डिस्कस करेंगे। ठीक है, तो किसको जो प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है वो स्क्रीन शेयर कर देगा और बाकी लोग भी देख सकते हैं, अगर उनको भी सेम इशू आ रहा है तो फिक्स कैसे करते हैं। ठीक है, तो 5-10 मिनट में देख लेंगे लास्ट के, बस मुझे रिमाइंड दे देना, रिमाइंड करना कि ये देखना है इशू करके। ठीक है, ओके। सो देखो अभी क्या किया हमने, ऑथराइज कर लिया, राइट। अब मुझे क्या करना है कि ऑथर मेरा जो ऑर्ग है उसका कोड मुझे रिट्राइव करना है। ओके, वो कैसे करूँगा मैं, तो लेट मी, okay, now you can see here these options are automatically added after the extensions are loaded. Okay, when the extensions are loaded then only these options you can see. So here one option is org browser. Okay, you have to click over here org browser. Okay, Whenever you click on this, you can see multiple components are there. Okay, multiple tons of org component are there. Okay, let's say I want to retrieve my apex class. Okay, so you have to go to apex class. Okay, apex class is here. Just expand this window. Okay, you can see so much of classes have been loaded here. Okay, now I want to retrieve it to my VS code. How can I do that? Okay, let's say account controller. Here two options are there. When you hover over that, you can see retrieve and open source. Means it will retrieve the source in your into your VS code and directly open that. Okay, let we will see both of the option. And second one is the retrieve source. Okay, it will only retrieve, it is not going to open for you. Okay, so let's click on this retrieve source. Okay, you can see command is from the backend is fired. Okay, retrieve source from the org. This is the Salesforce CLI command. Okay, and this is the full name, what type, apex type, and this is the path where the class has been stored. Force app main default classes. Okay, let's go to that part. Force app default classes. You can see account
Sir, can you
control is
make it the
retrieve. What?
Can you make it the full screen?
Full screen like this?
Yes.
Okay. So now you can see in the classes the account control is there. It is retrieved successfully. Okay. Now let's try the second option. Okay. Means I want to directly retrieve and open that resource. Okay. Click on this. Now you can see the file is automatically opened for me. It is retrieved. You can see this file is retrieved as well as opened for me. Okay, so these are the two uses of these icons. Okay, one will be retrieve. This will retrieve your file, and this will retrieve and open your source into the VS Code. Okay, these are the simple use cases of that. And here you can see, if I this include this tag, you can see there are also two icons are here. So one is the refresh component. Means suppose I have loaded this all the component into my VS Code, and some other developer are working on other components, let's say, and you want to retrieve that. Okay, but to retrieve that, the latest updated version, you have to click over here before retrieving. So what it will do, it will refresh all the existing components present into your org. Okay, and then you can start for retrieving those components. And here is another icon, that is retrieve source from org. So what it will do, it will retrieve all the classes. Okay, if I click on this, it will retrieve whole package, whole apex classes, whatever apex class is present on your org, it will retrieve all of them. Okay, so similarly we can retrieve the triggers. Okay, this way we can retrieve triggers. Okay, so there are multiple options: apex class, apex trigger, aura component are there, LWC component also you can see here. What is LWC? Yeah, lightning web component is there. You can see multiple components. So based on your requirement, you can retrieve this from here. Okay, flow you can retrieve here. Okay, email template, various things you can import from your org. Okay, so this is the part about a retrieval process. Now how to deploy the code to the org? Okay, that is the main thing, right? So let me open the org. Okay, so let me go to developer console. Okay, now let's open the same class. Okay, account list controller. Okay, so these are the shortcut. Okay, I have already told you yesterday how you can open this. Control Shift O to open the resource. Okay, and just paste your class name. You can see, double click over that, it will open the same class for you. Now I want to modify this class. Okay, let's add one comment over here. Added comment. Okay, now you have to save that. Okay, whenever you modify, let's say I have added something, you can see one dot is there, white dot is there, right? So before deploying this, you have to save this file. Okay, Control S, or you can go from here, save as. Okay, Control S. So through this you can save your class. Now class is saved. You can see here the commit is not added yet. Why? Because we haven't deployed this code yet on the org, right? So how to deploy? Just right click on this file and you can see 4 commands are there. One is sfdx delete. So what it will do, it will delete this file from the project and from the org. So from both this file we will see all this example. Okay, so first we will see the deploy process. Okay, how to deploy? Just click on this, deploy this source to org. Okay, it is deployed successfully. You will see such message, deploy source to org successfully, right? Okay, if it is failed, it will show some validation error. Okay, let's see this. Now still it is not updated. Okay, so to check the updated version, you have to close this file again and reopen that. Okay, now you can see added command by sk is present in the org now. Okay, you can see. So such way you have to deploy your files to org. Now let's see the second version. Let me remove the semicolon from here. Okay, I have used one extension which will automatically save my file after making changes. Within 2 to 3 seconds it will save, automatically save. So I will also show you the trick. Okay, now you can see I want to again deploy this source to org. Okay, you can see it is not deploy source to org failed to run. Okay, so you might face this kind of error while deploying. Okay, so now you can see it will mention the errors, what error are there in your class. You can see unexpected token return. Okay, it is not recognizing the error. Why? Because we haven't ended this statement, right? We haven't ended the statement with the semicolon. You can see here missing return statement required. Okay, so it is not means not able to recognize this return statement. That's why it is throwing that no return statement is specified in your class. Okay, so just put the semicolon and try to deploy. So it will deploy. Okay, successfully deploy. Okay, if there is error it will shown in this window. Okay, now deployment is done. Now let's say I want to delete some class. Okay, let's create one sample class over here. View command plate. How you can create class from VS Code. sfdx create apex class. Okay, click on this, give name to your class. So let's say demo apex class. Let's say hello world. Okay, hello world, enter. Select your directory. So you don't need to change the directory, keep by default whichever is set by default. Okay, so you don't have to select any directory. Okay, you can see this is the path, force app main default. Under that classes is the folder. Just click on enter. You can see the command is fired from the backend. Okay, so this way your class is created. Now let's say create one sample message, public static void display message. Okay, I have created one sample method and printed one debug statement inside that debug. Hello world. Okay, I have created one class. Okay, and if I search this class on my org, okay, if I go to here and search this class, it is not present. It is different class. Okay, this is vf page, vfp. Okay, this is vf page. This is not a apex class. Okay, so it is not present in my org. So I have to deploy it first. Okay, right click, sfdx deploy this to org. Okay, it is deployed. Now let me again try to search the name, refresh. If it is not visible here, try to refresh your dev console. Okay, let me close this file, open source, hello world. Now you can see apex class is visible. Just click on this and this is the same class which we have created here, right? Same class, no difference, right? So now what I have why I have created this class, okay, to show you this command, delete this source from project and org. Okay, I have created one class, deployed to org. Now I want to delete that class from the org and from my project, okay, from both sides. How you can delete? Right click. There are two ways to use this command. You can directly either right click on your file and perform this command, or you can also click from here, click on particular file, right click on that, and you can perform also from here. Okay, same thing. Okay, so now delete this source from org, from this project and org. Click on this and it will show you one warning here. Okay, deleting source file deleted the files from your computer and removing the corresponding metadata from your org. So before deleting, always this warning will be there, because it might happen that you have accidentally click on this and your files will be deleted. So before deleting, it will always show you one warning. Not deploy, we have to click on delete. Okay, click on delete source. You can see from the background some commands are fired. So these are all Salesforce CLI commands. Okay, you can see successfully deleted. Okay, now let's check the file is present or not. It is already open, so that's why it will shown here. Let's close, refresh this dev org, dev console. Okay, now let me close all of this. Okay, again go over here, open source, type hello world. Now you can see the class is gone. Okay, so this way you can delete your files from org as well as from your VS Code. Okay, you can see the file is still visible to me, but it is strike over, right? You can see it's tried over. Why? Because why we are able to see this file here, but it is not visible in here, because in cache this file is stored. Whichever file you open in your VS Code, it is stored in some cache. Okay, while you have deleted that, but it is not deleted from your cache. So if I delete it from here, means I closed it from here and try to search the file again. How you can search your classes? Okay, for that use this shortcut, Control P. Okay, let me check whether this is present. Okay, you have to press Control P. Okay, so this way you can search your file. So you can see account. If I search account, all the files related to account will be shown. So we have to search hello world, right? Hello world. You can see it is not present now. Okay, it is gone. So two commands we have learned: delete this from project and or deploy this source to or. Now we have another command, that is diff. Diff means what? Difference file against or. Okay, so let's say I have added one command. Let's say I have added some new command here. Okay, added v2 version v2 command. You have to check what is the current changes done on the org version. So how you can check? Right click on this diff file against org. Now you can see it will show you the difference between your org version and your VS Code version. So left side is my org version and right side is my VS Code version. Okay, so here you can see only one comment is added, and here you can see two comments are added. Okay, so before every time before you deploy your file to your org, always use this command. So this way you prevent overridden of any changes. If some other developer have working on the same file and you have not retrieved that code and you have added your own code, so it will replace that file. Okay, the other developer code will be gone. So always before deploying code, always use this command, difference file from org. So this way you can retrieve the existing changes to your org and then you can deploy your own changes. Okay, so these are the three commands we have seen. Okay, now this is not useful and this we have already seen. Okay, now before what we have seen, retrieve command we have seen from here, right? Directly from icon we are able to retrieve the file. Okay, but let's say I have these two files, apex classes. Okay, I want to only retrieve this, I don't want to go there. Okay, so you can also directly retrieve this file from the org. So you can see in org I have added only one comment, right? If I retrieve, it should get overridden from the org version, right? So let's click on this, fire this command, sfdx retrieve this source from org. Okay, now you can see the comment is gone, right? So it means my org version and my VS Code version both are same. Okay, both, there is no difference. If you want to check, you can go and fire this command, difference file against org. You can see no changes will be there, all files are same. Okay, all the content is same. So this way you use VS Code. Okay,
सर
and
याच्यामध्ये आपण आता तुम्ही हा VS कोड वरचा कोड तर तुम्ही सेव्ह केला होता आधीच
mhm,
आणि आता जेव्हा आपण रिट्राइव्ह केला ऑर्ग
mhm,
मध्ये
mhm,
तर जर सपोज तर कम्प्लीट तो ओव्हरराईट झाली फाईल.
yes,
जर आणि असे काही चेंजेस असतील तर आपण चुकून विसरलो डिप्लॉय करण्यासाठी आणि
हा
भरपूर
तर
काही आपण जर काम केलंय.
yes, so त्याच्यात सांगतोय मी, means how you can check that, you have to always perform this command, difference file against all, before deploying, before retrieval. Okay, so this way while retrieving you will know that what changes are there in the org version. Okay, so you can take the backup of your file in somewhere and take your changes only. Okay, not whole file, just your changes put out in some other file, notepad or anything, retrieve the file from the org and then add your own changes and redeploy that file. Okay, so this way you can do that. Okay, एक डाउट था मुझे, यहाँ पे किसी को मराठी नहीं आता क्या क्लास में? मतलब मराठी समझता नहीं है, किसी को आता नहीं है? कैन एनीवन इज हियर, एनीवन?
यस,
ओके, ठीक है. ओके, एनीवन एल्स?
इंग्लिश हिंदी बोथ आर
Yeah.
प्रेफरेबल.
Okay, fine, no worries. Okay, so because while teaching in English, some of the student while might ask questions in Marathi, so that's why now I will prefer to answer them in English or Hindi. Okay, so this way all the students will understand this concept. Okay, so her doubt was this, that before a retrieval, let's say I have done some changes here and directly I have retrieved these changes. Directly I have fired this command. So it will override my all the changes. Okay, whichever changes I have done, it will override. So how we can prevent that? Okay, to prevent that, always fire this command, different file against or, before retrieval and before deploying the source to or. Okay, so this way you will prevent the data overridden thing. Okay. Okay, now these command are done. Let me go back to the PPT now. Okay, so we have also seen yesterday some of the basics of the dev console, okay, which you might have already known in your development classes. Okay, so let me go to now lightning component framework bundle. So this question will definitely be going to ask in the interview. Okay, so what are the different component bundle in lightning? Okay, so these are the 8 files. Whenever you create a lightning component, these files will be available for you to create. Okay, so let me go to the org. Okay, so now how to create aura component from dev console. Okay, let's create that. New, go to lightning component, click on here, let's say hello world lightning, hello aura, let's say hello aura. Okay, type your name of the lightning component. Okay, if you want to add any description you can add here. Okay, like this is a demo version.
Sir, what is Aura?
Have you attended yesterday's classes?
No.
That's why. So we have recorded the sessions. You can see in the group. Okay, watch those lectures. If you still not understood, I will explain that to you. Okay,
Sure.
yeah. So this is a demo version component, and this we will see later on in the lectures. What are these checkboxes? Okay, so submit. Okay, so you can see here are the 8 files. Okay, component, controller, helper, style, documentation. We will see all of them. What are the uses of these files? So component is your main file that is going to show UI to the user. Okay, if you go to home, let's say go to account. Okay, let's say this is my lightning component. So this is the component part which will be visible to the user. Okay, this component inside here you have to write the UI part, means presentation logic. You can say HTML code you have to write here. Okay, in HTML if you want to add some button, right, button tag we will use. So that kind of logic we will write here. So simply what I will do here for demo, this is a, let's say hello world. Okay, simply I have added one paragraph tag here. Okay, now I haven't added these files. You can see there is one difference in this component and other component. You can see one create option is there. Okay, but in front of component no create option is there. Why? Because whenever you create your Aura component from this first time, only component file will be added. This .cmp file will be added. Other file you have to create on your own. Okay, based on your requirement. Every time this file will not be needed. Okay, only some of the file will be needed. Okay, so let's create one another. First of all, let's save this. You can see it is not saved, so let's save this. Control S, saved. Now I want to check this file. How I can check whether, how I can view this file? Okay, so for that you have to create one lightning application. Click new lightning application. Okay, and from here let me remove this badge. Let's say me lightning app. Submit. Okay, here also same component are there, but we will see this later on. Okay, so you have to call this component. Okay, this whole component you have to call in the lightning application to view that. Okay, how you can call? C colon hello world. Okay, what is C here? It is the default namespace. Okay, I have explained you yesterday what is namespace, right? Namespace is nothing but a directory structure. Okay, to access a specific file from a specific folder, you have to first open that folder, right? After opening that folder, then only you are able to access those files, right? So similarly, if you want to access your component from other namespace, so you have to just change the namespace name. Let's say I have one another, let's say I have named dev is my namespace. So you can use like syntax like this. Okay, so by default C is the default namespace, and in real time also C is only used. But if you are working on a complex project, so that there will be one different namespace will be used. Okay, so I have simply called my component. Okay, so now how to see? You can see one preview option is there. So click on this. Now you can see hello world is printed here. So this way my lightning application presentation, means this HTML code is visible. Okay, this is visible. Okay, so this is the front end logic. Okay, now let's say back end logic. Okay, click on create. Okay, so it will create one file for you with .js. You can see only the extensions is changed and controller keyword is by default added here. Okay, see the names. Okay, hello world aura controller. Okay, if I click on this helper, it will add the helper keyword. Okay, it is also same JS file also, and why there are two JS file I will explain also that. Okay, you can see helper is added keyword here, and JS is the extension. Now let's say I have added one method here. Okay,
Sir,
so
what is
let's,
JS?
JS means JavaScript extension. Okay, means similarly we have HTML, right? HTML file, hypertext markup language. So HTML is the extension for that. For CSS, means cascading style sheet, we have CSS as the extension. For JavaScript, we have JS as the extension. Okay, display message. Okay, so display message, I have written one method. So this is the method syntax we use in the Aura. Okay, if you have used Apex, so similarly in Apex what we have, let me go to VS Code. So this is the Apex, right? So you can see this is my access provider. Okay, static or not. Okay, return type, and then my method name, and then my parameters. Okay, so similarly we don't have that kind of a syntax. Let me write here Apex syntax, so you will be much more comfortable to understand this. Okay, So let's say same method I'm writing here. Okay. For demo purpose, I am taking string here, but it is object types. Okay. So in Apex, the method will look similar to like this. Okay. So this will be your method name. Okay. First, you have to write your method name colon function. Okay. Inside function, you have to pass your parameter. Okay. And these are standard parameters. Okay. Component, event, helper. So we will see in detail when we start with the coding. Okay. With the helper classes, what is component, what is event, what is helper. Okay. All this we will cover. Okay. So for knowledge sake, just this is the syntax for the method. Okay. Now I want to define something inside this. Okay. Let's say alert. Okay. Let's say okay. Save this class. Now how to call this method. Okay. For calling, let's define one button here. Okay. Name. Click here. And write the on click. Okay. Let's say add value also.
This is much similar like Visual Force page.
Yeah. This is much similar, but there is many differences are there. So we will see that. Now type your event. Okay. On click call method. Okay. How to call your method? C dot display name. We'll see what is C here. Okay, this C is different from this. Okay, you can see I have here used C colon and here I have used C dot. Okay, so what is this? We are going to see that in later on lectures. Save this class. Okay, it is saved. Now again go back to application. You can see earlier there was preview option was there, but now update preview was there. Why it is now update preview? Because we have made some changes inside this component. Okay, so by default it checks whether the component is modified or not. If it is modified, it will automatically say update your preview because it is old version. Okay, update. Now we can see button is there. I guess the syntax is wrong. Okay, instead of this label will be there, I guess. Label. Or let me use lightning button. Salesforce or a lightning button. I want to just showcase means how the method is being called. Okay, we will see in the detail means how this is called. Okay, so simply let me get one button from here. Replace this method with our own method and remove this. Let's remove the variant, all those things we don't need right now. Title you can give anything. Displays greeting message. Okay, greeting message. Okay, save this file. Okay, now again refresh this component. Now you can see click here is there. Okay, if I click on this, okay, if I click on this on click, display message will be called. Okay, so where is display method? It is defined in my controller, so it will come here and it will throw the alert. Okay, let's say good morning. Click on this, you can see good morning alert come. Okay, so it means it is calling my controller method. So this way we call our controller method. Okay, so what are the uses of this? Okay, in controller we write our client side logic. Okay, whatever logic you want to perform based on, let's say, some filter. Let's say I want to show users of a particular city. Okay, so you can write that logic in the front end itself. Okay, you don't need to go back to the Apex classes for that. Okay, and let's say I want to add multiple methods here. Okay, so this is the single method. How you can write multiple method? You have to write comma, enter, again the same syntax will be there. You can differentiate your logic. Okay, let's say filter. Let's say this is my method, this is my second method. Okay, so this way you can define multiple method in the controller. Similar way you can do the same thing in your helper also. But then what is the difference between helper and controller? Okay, so inside helper only common method you should place here. Okay, that should be reusable. Okay, means that same method I have to call from here as well, from this method also. Okay, so that time we use helper. So this helper keyword is nothing but to call the helper method. So let's say, let me give you one example. Now the alert shown from helper method. Okay, helper method. Okay, save this. Okay, now from here we will call that component helper dot whatever the method name. Let's say helper method. Okay, just call this. Okay, first it will show good morning. After that it will go inside this helper method, then it will show this alert. Okay, save this. Okay, it is saved. Now refresh. Okay, click here, you can see good morning is there. Click OK, you can see alert shown from helper method. Okay, so this way you call your helper method. Okay, you can't directly call your helper method from here on click. Okay, if you try to do that, let's try to do that. Helper method, copy paste here. Okay, on click, whenever I click on that it should call, right? Let's save this. Okay, it is saved. Now refresh. Now if I click on that, it is not going to show me the alert. You can see error. This page has an error. You might just need to refresh it. Unable to find action helper method. Okay, so there is also, this is another difference between controller and helper, that you can't directly access helper method from your component file or component this file. Okay, so that's why you have to use controller methods. Okay, through controller method you can access your this helper methods. Okay, okay, so these are the difference. Okay,
सर
so
पण हेल्प हॅलो
yes,
सर मग हेल्पर जी फाईल आहे तिचा यूज काय आहे
yes, I
म्हणजे
have explained that. Yes, yes.
तर सर आपण
Okay.
तेच कंट्रोलर फाईल मध्ये तर करू शकतो. इथे फक्त मी हेल्पर मेथड्स कॉल कसे करायचे ते सांगितले थ्रू कंट्रोलर फाईल.
Yes.
पण एक्झॅक्टली हेल्पर फाईल मध्ये आपण काय करणार की जे आपण कंट्रोलर फाईल मध्ये नाही करू शकत.
Yes. Let me explain you this question. Okay. So helper and controller files are similar, means both are nearly similar. Okay. But at a times, if you have some common logic, which is needs to be called from different method defined in your controller method. Okay. At that time, you have to write this method or call this method from here. Okay. Means write the same logic you will write from here. Here, let's say I have, instead of this, I have so much of alerts. Okay. Let's have this much of alert file. Okay, then what I have to do, I have to, instead of calling this, I have to write the same here. Let's say I want to call the same logic, I have to again put this. So this way it will increase the line of code. Okay, instead of doing that, simply we will define the common logic inside your helper. So whenever you see helper, okay, in your Apex class also you will use helper classes. Okay, why do we use helper? To define the common utility methods inside this helper method. Okay, so that's why it is provided, but this can also be done with the controller, but this is provided to shift your common logic inside a different file. Okay, that's why. Okay,
ओके, फक्त अरेंजमेंट साठी आहे. कारण आपण तेच कोड कंट्रोलर मध्ये पण करू शकतो.
Yes, yes.
आपल्याला फक्त लक्षात येण्यासाठी आपण ही फाईल यूज करतो. बाकी
To
दुसरा काही डिफरन्स नाही.
yes, to separate out the common logic, we just use this helper methods or helper class, you can say helper JS file. Okay, so these three components use we have seen. Okay, component is used to write your front end logic. Okay, whatever the user see on his or her screen. Okay, control is defined is used to define your front end logic or front end logic. Okay, you can say code logic if you want to write, you can client side logic if you want to write, you can use this controller. Okay, also you can call your apex classes from this file, this controller. Okay, from controller also and from this also you can call your apex classes. Okay, and now the style, you can see as the name itself says style. Style means what? It is used to style the component. Means let's say I have some class, let's say I modified like this style, let's say color red, save. Okay, refresh this application. Now you can see the color of the paragraph text is changed to red. Okay, so if this file is not present, what I have to do is I have to write the inline CSS for every tag. Okay, which is not preferable. So that's why we have style file. Okay, just click on that. Okay, so it will create one file for you. Now let's say I want to apply some CSS to my file. Okay, so how I can apply that? Just replace this with class, or let's say you can directly use that CSS. Okay, paragraph tag use, you can say apply your property, CSS property. If let's change the color to, let's say, green. Okay, let's refresh this. Now you can see the color is changed. Let me check. It is not visible, right? Let me change to red.
तो आपने पिन नहीं दिया है उधर.
What?
Hello world और
You are not visible. Miss, your voice is breaking. Yes. Okay. Color is red. Saved. Okay. Again, refresh this. Okay. I think we are doing something wrong here. Let me add one class over here. Okay. Class. My class. Okay. Go to your CSS file. Add my class. Okay, got it. I guess it should be like this, not this. Okay, refresh. Okay, it is still not applying the CSS. Why? Okay. Background color. Okay, it is not saved. Okay, that's why it was not there. Okay, let me change back. Refresh. Okay, it is still not there. Okay. Okay, now you can see the color is changed, right? So you have to use the syntax like this. Okay, dot, this means the whole template will be selected. Okay, this whole template, this component will be selected. After that, inside that component, search for this class. Okay, so dot my class will be used. Okay, so this way you can modify your CSS. Okay, let me add one background color. Let's yellow. changed. Okay, this way you can modify, apply CSS, anything. Okay, so this is all about today's lecture, and we will see these three files. Let me explain you about this. Documentation is nothing but if you want to provide any information that why this component is written for. Okay, what is the purpose of this component. Okay, so that thing you have to write this right over here. Okay, in the example description. Okay, so that you have to write here. Okay, documentation in generally we use this comments. Okay, whatever component if you add, we add the comments like this. Okay, button added here. Okay, how you can add comments? You must know about comments, right, in Apex. So this is the syntax for the comment in Aura. Okay, this is the syntax. By this way you can add your comment in the Apex class. Okay, so this way you will know why this change has been done. Okay, and the documentation will explain you why the whole component is means added. Okay, why the whole component is developed itself. Okay, so documentation specifies that thing. Okay, re-renderer, design and SVG we are going to see in the tomorrow lecture. Okay, we will complete this tomorrow. Okay, so now let me stop the screen sharing and share your doubts. Okay, yesterday some of you might not able to successfully perform those steps, so anyone from you can share your screen. So we will right now solve that issue here. Okay, anyone?
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure, definitely. If you want to attend, you can attend this, or otherwise you can left if you have performed the step completely. Okay, successfully, then you can left. Okay, it is fine.
My screen is visible.
Yeah. Yes, Neha, you have any doubt?
I am trying to authorize an org.
Okay, go to your VS Code.
Yes, I am going to VS Code. It is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
It will show error.
We are not able to see the VS Code yet. We are still seeing the Skype screen. You can stop and reshare.
Now.
Yeah.